Man, this is one frustrating morning. Well, shout out to the people coming in from work and tuning in. Shout out to the people going out to work and tuning in. Shout out to the people tuning in and tuning in. We have a lot of topics to talk about this morning, but for some reason, I cannot get my I cannot get my camera online with the laptops to do the live streaming. So I'm on the phone, and we've tried 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times so far. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually going to just probably take this to a professional today and have them figure out what the issue is. I don't know what the issue is. Every time I'm not no computer technician, so every time anything man-made can go wrong, and that's what's going on right now. One of those things, man-made stuff going wrong. So it's frustrating as hell because I really want to go live because we really have a lot to talk about, but it's just not working. It's just not working. I'm using my phone right now, and I'm usually on the laptops, which is a better stream for me because I can bounce from both laptops and stuff. I don't know. I feel frustrated, but shout out to everybody who are tuning in this morning still. Shout out to, I see Pussy Galore is in the building, Virtuous Fire is here, and Prellis123 is here, DR is here. I also didn't want the live, I didn't want the chat to be open this morning to just everybody either. I wanted it to be strictly green names. So no hard feelings for the people who are not in green names. Big up to you. I appreciate you for coming by. It's just how I wanted to. When you want to do something, but it don't work out the way how you want it work out. Yeah, but I'm just gonna go with the flow, man. So here we are this morning, right? Thursday blessings. Big up yourself, family, and thank you. I appreciate you greatly. Thursday blessings to you too. King David is in the building, says upright. Sean Cassell is in the building as well. We got a lot going on. I don't know if I should go through the topics or if I should just cancel this live, go fix my camera where I can get in a zone with you and actually go through the proper topics. We have 60 people here. Let's take a poll and see. Do I continue? Or do I hear me good? Or do you want me to continue this live? Or do you want me to just fix what needs to be fixed and do it another time? My dog. Yes is what? King David says continue. Alright. Jason Jones says continue. Alright. Alright, so here are the topics we have this morning. I just need about 2 or 3 people to say continue and then my dog said fix it. Okay. Jason Jones says continue. Black Eagle says continue. Perlis123 says continue. Audrey Wright says, Lord, me find it. Audrey Wright, it's been a struggle this morning, family. It's been a struggle this morning. I tried me start from early, because I knew there was going to be a problem, but I thought we could fix the problem early. So I had to shut down the computer, restart the computer, go to the settings, figure out any update that was needed, re-update the computer, find the ad blocker that was blocking the camera, get rid of that ad blocker, and I'm troubleshooting, and we can't fix it. And every time I go live, we get a black screen. And I see a bunch of green names on there. Everybody is ready to go, and you're telling me that I can see you. We can see you, SouFLo, we can see you. But I can't see you. That's the problem. Me couldn't see Uno. So I could see the comments. I just see a black screen, and I see the comments, which was rubbing me the wrong way, and I just couldn't get it, right? Bless up SouFLo and everyone, and please like the live and share it, and pray God cover us in His blood through today, and our family, health and strength, safe journey wherever you go. All right, Yard Media, Uncut TV, big up yourself with a word of prayer and well wishes for everybody this morning. Good morning, SouFLoTV. We can see and hear you. I would say continue. Yeah, you can see and hear me on my phone. I had to switch from computer to phone. So anyway, since we have enough people here, right? We have 131 people here. We're usually like 800-900 and something people, but We ain't worried about that. They'll come and watch later. The Everton Beachy Stout Mcdonald sentencing is to be today. I appreciate you, Asarinve. Thank you. Everton Beachy Stout Mcdonald is going to be sentenced today. Omar Collymore was found guilty yesterday. Y'all know I've been following the Omar Collymore story, and I was very vested and interested in the outcome of that story. Jolian Silvera denied bail. Those are the three people I had on my icon this morning. I call them killers of their wives because all three men killed their wives. I know somebody is going to say, like Jolian Silvera's attorney is probably saying, why are you saying my client killed his wife? Right? He is accused. Well, he's accused of killing his wife, and there is strong evidence that says that he did it. The rest of the guys have already been found guilty or convicted or about to be convicted today, such as Everton Beachy Stout Mcdonald, Omar Collymore, Jolian Silvera. We're going to talk about those. There was a father who had him and his brothers jumped a guy. Another father who is the father of a bully. So they had been having some issues at the school. The father said they kept going to the school. They spoke to the child. They sent home a letter to the parents. They had a meeting with the parents and the child just would not stop bullying their child, his daughter. So he's a big guy, right? And he got brothers who are big guys too. So what they did was they caught the father after school and they beat him down in front of his daughter that was bullying the other man's daughter. He did it as an example to show the little girl that, hey, look, we done tried everything with you. You don't intend to stop. This is not what I send my daughter to school for. And since your father can't get you to stop, maybe you seeing him getting his ass beat will help you to stop. That one this morning, somebody said, SouFlo, do this on Morning Thoughts over on. So I said, okay, I'm going to do it. I find that one very interesting, and I wanted to know what the audience take on that one was. There's updated information about the bus crash in Florida. The bus crash in Florida. Let's go ahead and knock that one out the way. So there was a bus carrying a bunch of farm workers. And you know we have a lot of Jamaicans that go on farm work. And the bus crashed in Florida, and a lot of Jamaicans come to Florida, USA, for farm work. And 8 farm workers died on the bus. That was yesterday. Well, news update says that none of them were Jamaicans. So you can rest assured that your family members weren't in it. However, I don't like the way how Jamaica news media houses kind of flex sometimes like US media houses. For instance, if the perpetrator or the guilty person, the guilty party is this color, they don't bother showing them on the screen and they don't bother going into the details of why. So I'm reading the Jamaica news, and Jamaica news says, in Jamaica it says, no Jamaicans in Florida farm work bus crash. I said, okay, damn, that's good. But then I keep reading the article and it says, no further information was given as to what, no further details were released, including what substance allegedly left the person impaired, the person who caused the crash. That's so not true. You know, from the same piece of news piece that they took that from, you find the person's face, his picture, him in court, all his arrest records, all his mugshots. He's a white guy who has a substance abuse problem. He drinks a lot and he smoke a lot of weed, and weed mixed with alcohol. He goes driving and he does this all the time, right? And eventually he ended up being the cause of the crash. So since Jamaica News House wouldn't share it with us, I'll share it with you. And that's why I wanted to be on the big screen live this morning, because you could see it better. But y'all can go to Fox 13 on or fox13news.com and you will see it. We have it right here. I don't know how well it's going to fare. We're on the phone, so you're probably not going to be able to see it. No, you're not going to be able to see it. But you can see him standing there in court with a bunch of other incarcerated people around him. You know, is a white guy. You can see him here better because he was also injured in the crash that he caused. I'm saying, see him there? So the Jamaican news media houses could have very well carried that and could have very well told us that that's what caused it. Because the Florida authorities already told them that is what caused it. But when their face look like this, something about Jamaica and these types of people, you know, they'll brush it under the rug really quickly. And here's a long list of how many times he's been arrested. Those are some of his mugshots. Yeah. So it was a DUI incident. The man was driving and high and drunk and drove into the bus and killed off 8 migrant workers and injured a bunch of others. And now they're talking about like reforming some or putting some legislations in place, and you know, everybody is a knee-jerk reaction kind of thing. Because when these farm workers come up and they're traveling on these buses on the highway at high speed, now the buses don't have any seat belt and they're not strapped in. So in case of an accident, everybody goes flying all over in the bus, which is exactly what happened in this particular case. So now they're going to try to fix all that. But again, I mean, my condolences goes out to the other families, because we know what it feel like for your family member to go off on farm work and then end up dead, or come back in one piece but others didn't make it kind of thing. We know what the farm work something feel like, because we have family members that do it too, right? So our condolences goes out to them, but I'm definitely glad that it wasn't 8 Jamaicans or something like that, you know? Right. Big up Charmaine Fritz, straight out of Portmore. Big up yourself. Yeah, so let's get past that one real quick. And Jamaica News Media House need to do better. Just a little FYI why I'm saying this. I'm saying this because every time, all my years of living in the United States of America, every time a crime is committed and the news comes on and the news says, 2 police officers were shot today, and the perpetrator escaped in nearby bushes, even though they never say escaped in nearby bushes, escaped in a smoking car, speeding down the street, but his appearance was caught on camera. Now, on to the next story, John. Every time they do that, I said it's not a black person and it's not a brown or any other kind of person, it's a white person. And the reason why is because they'll report the incident as the incident happened. They'll tell you that they have description of the individual, but they won't show you right away. And that's done for a psychological effect. That is actually done so that when you hear the crime, you won't associate a certain set of people with the crime. You understand? But when they show you, even if you are a suspect, this man right here is suspected in raping 20 children and friggin' your face is up there. Mind you, you're a suspect, You haven't been tried, convicted. You haven't even been pointed out as, we just suspect, right? But for them, they do it very differently. So I'll go look as soon as I see it. I'll go look, search the web, see other places, and boom. I'm always right. And I noticed that Jamaica News Media House does the same thing. So I'm wondering if it's a concerted effort globally, or I'm wondering if Jamaica just step on board with the same old. You remember that brooch that the Queen of England gave to Andrew Holness and gave to the Governor General of Jamaica? The brooch that has the white lady standing on the black man's neck as he was laying down. I don't know if y'all know about that. Right. So obviously there's some kind of concerted effort to push some agenda that makes it look like, keep certain people in certain place. This kind of thing. I don't know. Why was the other lives deleted? The other lives, Kedian, you're late, man. The other lives were deleted because it wasn't working. They weren't working. You could see me, but I couldn't see you. My screen went blank. So I'm using my phone right now, which is not the way I like to broadcast. But I had a couple people in here said go ahead, so I'm going ahead. All right. Now off of that and enough of that. Let's talk about Omar Collymore because I've been following this story for the longest, right? He was just testing because of issues. MJ says, yes, I was testing because of issues. I was trying to go live, but it wouldn't allow me to. It wouldn't allow me to see the audience. And if it was working, you wouldn't get to comment for free. Katai Dry Empress said, and yeah. Hey, Jamaican people is different, you know. Caribbean people, it's one to it. Sometimes we don't have no filter, Bridget. You know what we just say? She say, yeah, if it was working, you wouldn't get to come in for free. All right, we're all here this morning. Let's enjoy it as a family this morning. See, we're gonna roll along with what we have. So, Barbados born. Barbados born. Big up every Caribbean island. See, big up every Caribbean island. We're all special. We're just different. We're just different. You from the Caribbean? I'm friggin' with you. I fucked with you. Wrong word for you this morning, but you know what I'm say already. You my brother, you my sister, cause we just build different. We express ourselves differently. We just our vibe is different. You understand? We're spicy a kind of way, and sometimes we're unfiltered a kind of way too. That goes for every Caribbean island, and not just Jamaica alone. Because I've been amongst all. I used to live in Brooklyn. I told y'all for 7 years, Brooklyn, New York, and I've been amongst every Caribbean island there is, and we all have that in common. The whole of we have the same thing in common, for sure. That's how I know too that it's one people. It's the same people, because if you mix them in, you can't really pull out who from who until they start to speak. Then you're like, okay, it's not a Jamaican accent, that sounds like a Trini accent. All right, that one that sound like a Bajan accent. All right, that one that sound like, but the attitudes, the same. The same, them do the same thing. Them point to people, so. And there's me standing right next to you talking about you and you don't know, so them a chat about you. We just build different, right? All right, so check it. This case, long run, short catch. And I was vested in this case for a couple of reasons. I was vested in this case because, for one, Omar Collymore is not a Jamaican. Not that if he was a Jamaican and he killed Simone, it would have made it any better. But he was not a Jamaican, and he came to Jamaica seemingly with intentions to rob, pillage, and plunder and make off with the bag, so to speak. So I'm glad that the Jamaica justice system, as faulty as it might be, was able to hold on to this one. Remember, you know, they caught him on the day of his wife's funeral. He is at the airport, already boarded the plane, already leaving Jamaica. And they asked him, where are you going? He said, I'm going home. And they said, where is home? And he said, Florida is home. So Jamaica wasn't your home, even though you have your wife there, you have business there, you have your children being raised there, you've been living there for quite some time. You never considered Jamaica to be home. You just considered Simone, a Jamaican woman who loved you so much, to be your step to another couple millions of dollars. And for that, I'm glad that they got him. So it says that Barbados-born United States citizen businessman Omar Collymore was today found guilty of orchestrating the January 18th murder of his wife, Simone Campbell Collymore, and the taxi driver, Winston Walters. Winston Walters' family gets some justice as well, because all Winston was doing his job. He was driving a taxi, taking clients from point A to point B, and they wanted to murder his client, and they ended up murdering him and just dash him weto as collateral. So to see your brother or your cousin or your uncle, your favorite uncle or whoever get done like this, you pray for justice. So contract killer Michael Adams and accomplice Dwayne Pink, they were also found guilty of facilitating the murder. So it seems like everybody. Shaquille Edwards, however, was found not guilty on 2 counts of murder, but he was found guilty of conspiracy to murder, which means he was a part of helping to plan the stuff, or he knew of that it was going to be going down. The 7-member jury found the men guilty of 2 counts of murder and murder conspiracy after deliberating for nearly 2.5 hours. Yeah, I've heard that Jamaica jurors, they don't deliberate for long. Them take a couple of hours and then come back and you're gonna know your fate. The victims were killed when the men rode up on a motorbike and sprayed the car with bullets, and as they waited to be let into Simone Collymore and Omar Collymore's Forest Ridge apartment complex in Red Hills in St. Andrew, an upscale complex that they were living in. The mother of 2 was shot 19 times. Imagine being shot 19. I don't even think your head and chest have space to hold 19 shots. But could you imagine your husband or your significant other, your wife, telling somebody that this is how them want you to be killed? And you there talking about, baby, I love you. Baby, I want our family to work. And they over there saying, yeah, catch her, she'll come right now. The mother of 2 was shot 19 times, while the taxi driver was shot 5 times. The trial of the 4 men heard that Collymore hired Adams to facilitate the murder of his wife, that Edwards and Pink allegedly played a role in the surveillance part of the businesswoman's movements. They would follow her around, see where she was at, time her, plan when to catch her right before her death. One of the triggermen in Campbell Collymore's murder previously testified that he was told that hit was for $2 million. Wade Blackwood, a confessed member of the unruly gang who is currently serving 2 life sentences for the murders, had disclosed that he got the price tag from the other shooter, Jim. Jim is now deceased. Jim is an alleged leader of the unruly gang to which they all reportedly belonged. Jim was killed in another incident with Jamaica police officers, shootout business, and him get dashed. Blackwood also testified that Adams was the contract killer and was the one who spoke with the man who had ordered the hit on the woman. Among the evidence presented was that Collymore was the sole beneficiary of his wife's $21 million life insurance policy and was allotted 70% of her second life insurance policy. She had 2. Her second life insurance policy was $80 million. So she had a $21 million life insurance policy, and she had another life insurance policy for $80 million. And he was the sole beneficiary. Campbell Collymore had finalized the $80 million life insurance policy less than 3 months before she was murdered. Wow. Collymore also took out the life insurance policy for $80 million with his wife and children as beneficiaries. So his wife had the same policy, he had the same policy. She brought him to go take out the same policy for himself as well, with the children as their beneficiaries. So those children would have been set up nicely regardless. Now, phone data evidence also showed that there was continuous communication between Omar and the contract killers even on the day leading up to his wife's murder. And in one of the text messages that was sent 2 days before her death, Omar, was urging the person on the other end as the contract killer to hurry up and do it this morning, man. Hurry up and do it this morning. I want it done this morning. Hurry up. The data also showed a pattern where Omar Collymore would often call his wife right before calling or attempting to make contact with the contract killer. So you see, these are all the things that they were looking at in court. Why is it every time you called her, you would hang up from her and call this number? You did it over and over and over and over and over, right? Every time you call her, and they were able to prove in court that what he was doing was he was calling her to find out her whereabouts. You know, when you're coming home from work and you're like, babe, I'm hungry. What you feel for dinner today? Let's eat out. Or let's have brown stew, rice and peas. That me feel for. All right, I'll get it started till you come home. And then he'll hang up and he'll say, hey, you know what, she work already, right? Yeah, she leaving work right now, right? It is going to take her about 15, 20 minutes to reach here. Trail her and catch her. You can catch her at the gate. You can catch her. That's what he was doing. Or they were able to prove in court that that's what he was doing. So specifically, phone data records showed that Collymore had called his wife for a minute, half an hour before she was murdered. 1 minute, half an hour before she was killed. And then immediately after, he made another 1 minute long phone call to the same man who he usually calls right after he calls her. Turns out to be the person who he called to have her killed. The phone data records further revealed that Adams and one of the shooters, Jim, exchanged several phone calls on the day of the shooting. Call site data placed Jim close to the woman's apartment when the calls started. However, Collymore and Adams, in their defense, said that there was no conspiracy and that their frequent communication was about business. It wasn't about carrying out a hit on Simone. Specifically, phones that Adam was given to sell. Like he wanted to open up a phone store, so we would furnish him with the phones and he would go open up a stall, sell the phones and split the money with us. That's what we were talking about. That's what they tried to get the court to think they were talking about. Now, Collymore also maintained that he loved his wife dearly and he was her protector and he would never want to harm her. He even tried to pawn off the responsibility of her death on some contractor that they were doing some construction project with, and said to the courts, that man threatened my wife before. Me and him had words because he was shortcutting the job and he was shortchanging the materials on the job and we were having issues. So that's what we all need to look at. Like trying to divert the attention away from him, right? Additionally, he said that he was not aware of the details of his wife's $80 million life insurance policy, and he would not have sanctioned her leaving him 70% of that benefit. If I had known my wife was taking out an $80 million insurance policy, I wouldn't want her to leave me as the beneficiaries of 70% of that. Yeah, okay. Pink also maintained his innocence and that he did not take part in the murder plot, while Edwards said that he was initially involved in it, but he did not know the full details and he eventually pulled out of it before the murder was committed. What you have here is everybody that was pointed to in some way admitted that they formed a murder plot to kill Simone. Then you have people trying to save themselves. One guy said, well, I was only there up until right before them do it, me left, so I wasn't there when them actually kill her. Another person said, yes, I was one of them that was shooting in the car, and the other guy that was shooting in the car, police kill him. And then the next person said, yes, he initially can't. So you see, he's involved in it all the way around. Couldn't get out of this one. I call this long run short catch because Omar did the same thing in the US to a woman who he swindled. And shortly after she took out a life insurance policy, $1 million US dollars, and made him the beneficiary, she was dead in no time in a similar manner, gunned down. The life insurance company here in the US fought that case because they thought it was very suspicious and they thought Omar was connected to it. The law enforcement officials here in Florida said that Omar has always been their number one person and they're keeping a close eye on the case in Jamaica because it has too many similarities with the case in the US. However, he met Simone, they went to Jamaica to live, they got married, they stayed in Jamaica, so he was away from the US. He would go in and out, but he wasn't here, right? In Florida, I remember the case. Yes, MJ. So finally, justice is served for Simone family, her children, and for the family in the US. He ended up, and this is how he got his start. He got his start from the first woman dying, because 400,000 US dollars is what he actually walked away with. Yeah. $1 million is what he could have walked away with. But the life insurance policy company said, nah, we don't think, nah, something is way too suspicious. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to split the life insurance policy. You're going to get 400K, even though we're still suspicious of you. And the next 600K went to somebody that has her last name. And I don't know if it's her son, or if it's her father, or if it's her brother, or whoever, right? Yes. Be cryptic. That's his track record. This is what he does. Him work out a lot. He stays in the gym. Him stay buff. You know what I mean? Him stay running up on these women, and their little heart goes weak, and then he goes into a relationship with them, and then act like he's forming a family, playing stepfather or father, and then talk them into taking out a large life insurance policy, and then finding a way to have them executed and have the large life insurance policy pay out to him. Obviously, that's what went down. So, shout out to Simone's family. They could rest assured today that some justice is served. He just got found guilty. Don't know how long he's going to be sentenced to in a Jamaica prison. But as a Yankee youth, because he's born in Barbados, but he's not Bajan, as in he wasn't raised there and spent his whole life there. He mostly spent most of his life in the US. So you can't call him a Yankee youth. Now when a Yankee youth come get locked up in a Jamaica prison for murder, and they give you, say, 25 years, 30 years, because you know how Jamaica stay already, they don't really give people enough time. We'll see how he fares in that environment, right? Dog nyam him supper, but I feel like justice was served on that one. Now, on the other one for the day, which we have Jolyan Silvera, the former member of parliament, the prominent politician who comes from a prominent family, whose wife was said to have passed away in her sleep, only after autopsy was done to find out that she got multiple gunshot wounds. You know, I still can't believe. People are brave and I don't know if they're brave. I think people are just slow, stupid, really, not brave. Because to try to pull off a trick like this, right, you must say it's going to backfire on you. For instance, when the Jolian Silvera case broke, I said, does he have a personal weapon? I was on Morning Thoughts and I said, does he have a personal weapon? Did the FLA in Jamaica issue him a personal weapon? And was that personal weapon used in any way in this? And then I said on the live, I said, nah, I don't think so. Because he wouldn't be stupid enough, even if he was going to kill his wife, to use his personal weapon. Them man, they have money and connections. So he definitely can get a little hot foot shatter to give him a dirty gun if he wanted to use a gun to kill his wife. The next day I woke up, the news headline said his gun has been confiscated, taken in for testing. I said, they're not going to find anything. He's not that dumb. Me not going to kill my wife and then keep the same gun for me and then use it as my license gun too. And then, not that I would, I'm just saying. And then lo and behold, it was his gun. It was his licensed gun that was found to be the gun that took his wife's life. Or that matched the fragments, the bullet fragments that were found in her. Now, Karen noticed I wasn't thinking that I thought, okay, he's that bold. They are that bold because they are so connected in the system, they feel like they could pretty much do anything and get away with it, right? But check it. It went deeper than that. Because this is one of the charges that he has against him also. it was tampering with the weapon. So again, for people who don't know it, every gun has ballistic fingerprints. It's just like when you go through immigration, everybody have them passport, or when you get arrested and them fingerprint you. Me and you fingerprint is not the same. Highly unlikely. You know, just divine creation is so great that we all came to earth with different fingerprints. Isn't that amazing? We all came to earth with different fingerprints, fingerprints that are unique to you. So are guns. Guns are also made with a unique marking for each gun. It was found that his gun, somebody did something to the barrel of the gun to change the fingerprint of the gun. So whatever rounds come out of that gun would not match what FLA has on record for his gun. Right. And that is why he held on to the gun, because him thinks that somebody tell him say it a go work, man, trust me. Yeah, me switch up everything on the inside so the bullet fragment them not gonna match. It a go work. So he held on to the gun. Why would I hold on to my licensed gun knowing I used this gun to kill my wife and then gave it to you guys willingly? I could have made up a story and said they broke into my house. I wake up in the middle of the night, 4 men in here. They took my licensed firearm, they shot my wife with it, they left. Conk myself in the head and bust my forehead and say, see there, them even gun butt me too. But that wasn't the story. That wasn't the story. Confidence. Confidence, Kaitai Jai. Now, Kingston, Jamaica. Murder accused. Jolyan Silvera. This is a big deal, you know. This is a big deal. You're talking about a former member of parliament. Denied bail? Jamaica? Boy. I think if anybody they would ever want to let go, it would be somebody like him that they would want to let go, because these guys are connected to the people that are connected to the upper echelon. Murder accused Jolian Silvera and had his bail application denied when his case was brought before the Home Circuit Court on Tuesday. Today is Thursday. Following the court's decision, Silvera's attorney, who is King's Counsel Peter Champagne, revealed his plans to file an appeal. Silvera is to remain behind bars until his attorney files an appeal. So his attorney is going to now go in and say, what are the grounds that he doesn't get bail? I mean, why can't my client get bail? Everybody is almost guaranteed bail in Jamaica. And they're going to say, well, we have strong evidence that leads us to believe that, come on, his personal firearm, which was still in his possession. That's one. Another one is he is highly connected and he has the power to sway the outcome of this case, make people disappear, bribe people, etc., etc. So they probably will hold him there based on that. But them have to go to court to argue that part out. Meanwhile, scores of placard-bearing women gathered outside the courthouse on Tuesday, expressing their frustration at the number of women that were being killed violently in the country. The women shared that if convicted, murderers should be held accountable for their crimes. And I agree with them. This morning we have a headline with 3 men who are Jamaican who all killed their 3 wives. So yeah, it's like, you know, I'm saying today that we're tired of the men shedding the ladies' blood upon the land, and if you do your crime, you must do your time. No bail for you, one woman said. I agree with her. You do the crime, you do the time. You kill the woman, you go serve your time in prison. You know, and furthermore, why are you even killing the women? Why? Like, 90% of the time, it's the woman wants to leave. 90% of the time, it's the woman has moved on and found somebody else. 90% of the time, it's the other 10%, it could be some wicked girl where, you know, you find out, say, she did I try set you up first or something like that. Or it could be some, somebody where a man a give him all to, and she just that they use him and boops him out and thing and making fun of him behind his back. And I keep telling women, don't do that because it could turn into something else. At the same time, I balance the scales by telling the men, only give what you can afford to lose. We all know when we are playing a game. We all know when we're playing the game. A man knows when a woman is not for him. You know when you get used. Even whether you want to be delusional or not, you know when you get used. You know your little teely done went soft about 10 years ago, right? You don't reach 65, 70. Watch every 65, 70-year-old now that follow us. SouFLo, me, I know you talk about, me, a 70 and my thing turn up stiff like mahogany tree now. I'm not talking about you, sir. There's always an exception to the rule, I'm just saying. A lot of these guys, like, for instance, Beachy Stout, who came out and admitted that, him have the diabetes, him have the sugar real bad, and we already know what contributes after that, right? Poor blood circulation, the wood can't turn up, these kind of things, and you take on some like a young girl who like hot life and like road, and then you're telling yourself she's here for me. You're delusional. And then you end up give more than you can afford to lose, cause you fool yourself. So stop giving more than you can afford to lose, man. Then you won't feel like killing nobody, cause when she gone, she take what you could have lose already, so you don't miss nothing. You don't miss anything. And for the women, stop doing it because it could end up with your life being taken. Because some of these men, matter of fact, I don't know no man that's giving up his resources to a woman just for no reason and don't want nothing in return. None. No man. So if a man give him things, whether it's a penny, a dollar, or $100 million, just know that something is expected in return. Sometimes loyalty is expected in return. So whatever deal y'all work out behind the scene. I don't know, some woman well forward, Listen, you can't be my man, Cause me like man, you can't broke my back. you can't broke nothing. So, but here what, me love your company. So me come spend some time with you every now and then, play with the tealy, squeeze up the puppy, see what it can do. And we can do a little thing and you give me a thing. That's an agreement between two adults, like it or not. But when you sit over there and try to act like, say, yeah, this is my life partner. And him, he's 75, man. And how old are you? I'm 32. Yeah, okay. That's your life partner. I'm 75 and you're 32. Right. I share play and everything like that. You can angle that? No, sir. Yeah, but him trying, but me satisfied. Yeah, stop lying. Stop lying. Stop lying and stop being delusional. She a lie, you delusional. Wanna stop it. Cause I always end bad. Now, back to this. I'm saying the women are saying stop kill them. Stop kill them, and if you do kill them and you do get caught, then just accept your time. I think these women were out there with the placards because they are Jamaican women that know how the Jamaica justice system work. And these women did not want to see this prominent individual walk in there and walk out on bail. So that's why they were like, yo, listen, we're going to have to make some noise. Else them are going to give him bail, They're going to give him bail. And on a regular man, prominent politician from a prominent family, old money family, on the better go make noise. So shout out to those women. They stood up out there. They made their noises. His bail was denied. And he is still in custody, awaiting anything further that comes down the line. I guess his attorney, Peter Champagne, will be appealing that. Highlights that there is no political motivation behind the protests. The women said they are simply tired of the violence being meted out to the women. If you notice, we're not in no colors out here, No politics, just justice. Another woman said, that's a lie. That's a lie, but I'll get to that. So, Silvera, former People's National Party, PNP Member of Parliament, he was charged with the January murder of his wife following the death of his wife, Melissa. Melissa was found dead at the couple's home, said in their marital bed, where he laid next to her. It was initially believed that she died from natural causes, but the autopsy later revealed that she was shot multiple times. Another thing about those women that were protesting, some politicians get to them because they did politicize it. And I actually did leave a comment and say, come on now, just go for justice. Left out the political thing. Because when the JLP man them did a beat out them wife senses. Remember when my boy they run down him wife with the you know Jamaica, we used to go party back in the day when me a picnic. So we used to back then. So I used to see the crates. But you know what a crate of beer look like. Them plastic crate there. All the crate that the man run down the lady with that, clap her up with the crate and beat her with the crate, box her up. Nobody said JLP is a set of you know what. They just attributed his behavior to him. So why are they now out with placards? One of the placards actually said something about PNP. So yes, it was politicized. And the news media house made sure they went right to that placard and they zoomed in on it and they stayed on it for quite some time. It's politics time now in Jamaica, you know. The main election is approaching sometime soon, anytime they get ready to call it. Everybody is playing their games. Don't y'all see every day, when name? Not Andrew Holness, but he's doing it too. Andrew Holness and Minister of National Security, Dr. Harsh Chang. Don't y'all see they get up every day telling people how the murder rate is down 16% this year? Every last day them get up and talk about the murder rate down. And they get up to say the murder rate is down right after somebody got killed. Yesterday, there were, I know of, 4 or 5 murders on the island just yesterday alone. The day before that, it was a double murder and then a single murder over somewhere else, so that was 3 more. The day before that, I'm just not bringing them to you on a daily basis because them always use it cuss me. Like I'm the one that's doing the murdering, right? But I'm trying to show y'all that politics are play and these people, they don't give a damn about the people, them just want the people to believe. Under the JLP government, we have finally managed to put a clamp on this. No, the place still killy same way. Yeah. Go look it up. Double murder happened yesterday. Go look it up. So Mr. Harsh Chang and Prime Minister, Right Honorable Andrew Holness, cabinet pass the place, you know, bro God, when you can't stop lie. Actually do something, whatever it is that you can do from the long list of solutions that we've extended to you. Do one of them. But the lighting, it's not working. Okay? The people see what's going on. The place still killy, same way. Seeing? Lady B, thank you for being here. So finally catch a live. Alright. With that said, Jolian Silvera look like he's going down. Everton Beachy Stout Mcdonald. Rotted. Beachy him now. Portland businessman Everton Beachy, and y'all know I've followed this one throughout the years. Not only this one, I extensively followed Everton Beachy Stout McDonald's son, Andre McDonald. I followed those cases so good. Not a bragging right, just to say that a news media house, I believe it was CNBC or CNN, one of those, had contacted me and wanted me to fly out to Texas to speak in some documentary thing they were putting together about Andre and Andrine. And I was like, yeah, in one part I was like, man, my hard work is paying off, right? But to myself. But the lady on the phone said, we've watched like a couple of people who've been following this, and your following of it is the most detailed, and you seem to know a bit more than what the others were giving. So we were wondering if. I don't remember what I was doing at the time, but I told them that I probably couldn't fit it into my schedule to fly out to Texas to do it, but if they could somehow make it to Florida. Anyway, like father, like son is what my video is called on YouTube about this. So Portland businessman Everton Beachy Stout Mcdonald and his co-accused Oscar Barnes are now co-convicted. They are to be sentenced today for the 2020 murder of his wife, Tonia Mcdonald. A 7-member jury found the men guilty of murder and conspiracy to commit murder on March 6th. The body of Tonia was found with the throat slashed with multiple wounds, stab wounds. I think she had 9 stab wounds to her chest and her throat was cut on a deserted road in a place called Sherwood Forest in Portland. That's all the news is giving today out of Jamaica until his sentence is handed down at some time today, right? In that case, I really thought that it was going to be, I thought Oscar Barnes was going to walk for sure. And the reason why I thought Oscar Barnes was going to walk for sure was because the only evidence, so to speak, they have against Oscar Barnes, which is not really evidence, it's the individual who is the original hitman who said, I couldn't do it. Because I never killed somebody with a knife like that before, like how him, the boss man, did want or get killed. So me hire somebody who could have do it. And him me hire and pointed to Oscar Barnes. So I said, they don't have him on no video. They don't have him on no recordings. They don't have him anywhere. Just a word of mouth. And I thought he was going to walk for sure. But no, he got convicted too. Now, on appeal, he might walk. He might walk still. Because I still think they don't have anything on him. But Beachy Stout, man, the amount of proof they had in this case, I was saying, at one point I was like, yeah, he might go walk. At one point I was like, there's no way he can walk. But then remember when the judge said they throw out the conspiracy to murder charges? I said, yep, that's it. If they throw out the conspiracy to murder charges against Beachy, we already know he's not the one that actually committed the murder. So if they throw out the conspiracy, which he's a part of, he's definitely walking. They put that stuff back on the table. And he got hit with that. And he got hit with the murder. So he is convicted. And today, he will be sentenced. Long run, short catch. Long run, short catch. See? Hold on there. Oscar Barnes was so confident he even got married to a U.S. citizen. Yes, he got married to a U.S. citizen and he was waiting for his paperwork to go through. Or that's what I was told. I remember he was, all this time, Oscar Barnes was free. He wasn't in lockup. When the case got called up to court for them to start the case is when Oscar Barnes actually was remanded. And right after he was remanded, he was released on bail pending the outcome of the trial. And his woman was waiting outside and she hugged him up and them tongue kissed down. And I was like, yo. And his attorney was like, he's moved on from this. This is just something that's holding him back. He's a married man now. He's trying to do this, that, and the other with his life. And I was like, really? Okay. Well, either she'll go hold him down for all the years he's going to be in a Jamaican prison, or she's going to go find her another Jamaican bununus and keep on going. I don't think she's going to be waiting around. That's a hard thing to ask a woman to do. That's an impossible thing for anybody to do. Impossible. Impossible. Me don't want nobody tell me about, yeah, good woman out there, they'll wait for you for 30 years. Yeah, right. Impossible. So yeah, today we look forward to hearing how many years Beachy Stout will get in prison. And when the sentence is handed down, I will definitely bring you the breaking news part of it. I'm waiting for that as well. Now, there's a story that's been sitting on my timeline for, not my timeline, been sitting on my computer here for the last 3 days. And it's a story where, you know, a couple of students have died in schools in Jamaica over the past couple of days. One young lady was stabbed to death. And her mom recounted her last message with her daughter. Williamsfield, Manchester. When Marion White received a phone call on Monday afternoon that her daughter, Achillia White, had been killed, the Manchester mother was in disbelief that her child was the latest victim of school-based violence on the island of Jamaica. When we hear about a stabbing at school, I never know it would have reached my daughter, the distraught mother told her cousin, Tonia Anderson, as they stood outside the Accident and Emergency Department at Mandeville Regional Hospital. The mother recalled her last conversation with her daughter on WhatsApp, less than an hour before the 20-year-old was fatally stabbed at Catholic College in Mandeville in Williamsfield. I saw her this morning before I left for work, and she texted me about 11 o'clock and said, "Mommy, you alright?" And that was it. They just told me that she was in class, and the boy just attacked her. So I don't know what happened further from there. So it was a boy that attacked her. From what I've heard, another female went to help her to intervene, and the boy cut she up too. They just told me that she was in class and she wasn't doing nothing, and the boy just attacked her. She's a kind person, a very nice, jovial, outspoken. She was participating in the 6th form program, hospitality. "I don't know how I feel right now," the mother said. Now, a day earlier, as the nation celebrated Mother's Day, Achillia and her sister had just surprised their mom. "When I come home from work, she and her sister cook a special dinner for me yesterday, you know. A fish and chicken and beef." The Jamaica Observer was told that White and a 17-year-old boy were among students in a classroom about midday when another teenager used a sharp object to inflict stab wounds to White and to the boy. So I don't know if it's some jealousy thing. I saw comments from people. Cause you know everybody run to the comment under it. Some people say, "I can't believe you're gone. My party, my friend, please come back." All this. Somebody else say, "When a girl says she done with you, just leave her alone, man." Another person say, "Him vex because the girl find new boyfriend." Another person say, you know, so I see those trending in the comment section. I don't know if any of those is exactly what it was. But according to them, the Jamaica Observer was told that White and a 17-year-old boy were among students in a classroom on midday when another teenager, used a sharp object to inflict stab wounds to White and to the boy. The injured students were taken to a hospital where White was pronounced dead and the boy was admitted. So the suspect, who is also 17, was also taken into police custody. Head of the Manchester Police Deputy Superintendent Kerry Duncan said that the youngster was taken to court and remanded until June 4th. Duncan said that detectives are theorizing that a missing cell phone, not a relationship, a missing cell phone and money are possible motives for this incident. He said that the police seized the murder weapon, which was a knife, which the suspect reportedly went for after an initial confrontation with White. They argued first. He left and went for the knife, came back, stabbed up her and the boy. The other student who was injured was said to have, so it wasn't a girl that tried to intervene, it was a boy, and he got dealt with in that manner as well. He was stabbed. Political representatives condemned the incident, raising concerns over the growing spate of violence within our schools. Chancellor Mario Mitchell of the People's National Party, Belfield Division, said that the incident is shocking. I don't know why the incident is shocking, because honestly, this is something that's become a regular thing for us. I'm not shocked. Are you? Let's be honest. We're shocked? Is it shocking? It's not shocking. Every time something happens, everybody act like it just happened for the first time. That's the problem. I find that to be a big problem. That tells me that there will never be a solution. Because every time it happened, you act like the first time it happened. Oh my God! Oh, this is so shocking. How is it shocking when it happened last week? How is it shocking when it happened a couple of weeks ago already? How is it to be shocking when it happened multiple times throughout the year leading up to this time when it happened again? What's shocking about that? If you box me one time in my face, me might have shock. But if you keep boxing me in my rotted face, I'm not going to be shocked after a while. After a while, it's like, okay, I have to make preparations to receive this box. Or do something about defending myself so I not keep getting boxed. But I can't stand there and say, well, him boxed me 7 times, and the 7th one was shocking. Why? There has been a recent spate of violence across the island in schools, if in case y'all didn't know it. An uprise, an uptick. I was at another school doing some work on a playfield when I noticed that there was an incident down there. While pointing to concerns of aggression among students, Mitchell said that since the COVID-19 pandemic, teachers have been saying that the students are acting more aggressive. Rot. Since, I'm not going to repeat that. Who catch it, catch it. But this is an account from the teachers. I would say the teacher them did a drop dead too, but we're not going to say nothing again. They are more violent, they said. And I'm calling on all the powers that be to do whatever it is in their powers to assess whatever it is happening. This is something, there is something that is drastically wrong with our students. He called for attention and support to be given to programs that are designed to treat violence in schools. He said, I'm asking for whatever assistance, whether psychological help. There is a strain on our teachers. It is a strain on the students who are going through stress. Parents must also play a great role in this. We as politicians, we must play a role. And the administrators of the school system, the Minister of Education, this is a murder that happened when somebody sent their child to school to get an education and has to be told that the child is dead in a morgue on ice. Imagine you send your picnic to school this morning, and before school reach half day, you get called say your picnic dead, and now your child is in a morgue on ice. This is something that I wish no parent to go through, and this is something that we as a country must come together to ensure that we combat this problem. There is something happening with our students that we must get to the bottom of it, and we must find out what exactly is happening. All groups must get involved. The JTA, which is the Jamaica Teachers Association, the students themselves, the administration, the Ministry of Education, the opposition, everybody needs to be involved and on board for this, because it's getting really, really bad. I don't know if you see the picnic them when them turn in a Lego beast after school there, or in this school. I just saw a video of a teacher fighting, or 2 students are fighting a teacher, and they're fighting in the school. I mean, they moving furnitures. Them moving the garden, you know, the nice garden we plant outside of the classroom. In the garden, them they are roll, frig up the flowers, them and everything. I saw another video which I think a lot of y'all might have seen. You know how the ceiling, the walls that separate the classes are built all the way up to the ceiling, but there's a space in between where you can probably climb over from one class to another. A pass space. You don't ever see the big boy will jump up there and tell the teacher, suck your mother. And the teacher was like, come on down from there. Who are you talking to like that? The boy jumped down in the film class, you know. He's from the other class. Him jumped down in the teacher class. Run up to the teacher and chuck him in his neck. A man teacher. The boy chuck him in his neck. Suck your mother. I was like, what the... And the whole class just stay there and watch. It's like enough of them picnic where I go to school nowadays are some bad man them. And the picnic these. These are not children. Or something is drastically wrong. Who, you know, they have a saying in Jamaica now, who make the rum? And where them put in the chicken? Well, me want to know where them put in the picnic them. Yeah, that's what me want to know. Where them put in the picnic them? He also pointed to a 17-year-old student who was injured in a stabbing incident, wishing for his speedy recovery as well. These events underscore the urgent need for unity in our collective effort against crime and violence, and highlight the importance of prioritizing conflict resolution strategies within our schools and communities. Conflict resolution teachings now is, I've said this before, that was on the list of things that we put as intervention measures. Conflict resolution might work if you have a community grassroots effort. Like, I don't know, when I was growing up, you could have it in the church, then you could have it at a community center, because the church and everybody are going to the church, and then you could definitely put it in from early, like basic school age, early, preschool, basic school age, early. Those you might be able to save. A new generation being taught how to handle problems in a different way, but that people in the middle right there, remember they have a saying, you know, you have to bend the tree from the tree young, right? If you think of how hard it is to bend an old oak tree, so you got to bend the tree from the tree is young. Bend the trunk of the tree from its young. Now, last week, Education and Youth Minister Favour Williams, during her presentation to the sectoral debate in Parliament, described the increasing incident of violence among the students as pure and utter madness, and urged Jamaicans to play their part in ending the problem. The long-standing issue of school violence came to the forefront in recent weeks with numerous confrontations between students being circulated on social media. That's why I'm telling y'all, I'm seeing all the videos. Last month, a video that went viral showed a Meadowbrook High School female student viciously beating a schoolmate, stomping on her head, kicking her in her face. Me think the little girl did got dead. I watched the video. I even used the picture still pic as one of our icons one morning about a week ago when we discussed the same topic. Police opened an investigation into the incident, which occurred on Friday, April 19th on Havendale Drive, meters away from the school, and said that the student who was seen inflicting the beating could be slapped with multiple charges. On April 18th, 15-year-old Ranil Plummer, a student in Irwin High School in St. James, died after being stabbed in the chest by a schoolmate outside the school gate just after classes were dismissed for the day. I'm not making these up. I told y'all already, I don't know why. Everybody is talking about, I'm surprised. Why are you surprised? You're recounting the incidents that I just spoke of happening repeatedly. Another incident which escalated around the same time saw students from several prominent corporate area high schools involved in a street brawl, which left some of them badly injured, and it resulted in the closure of school for 2 days. And that one, I believe, was said to be something about a girl that used to date a guy from this school, and now she had date a guy from a next school, and that the school a fight with this school because of that incident. On Sunday, the Observer reported the president of Jamaica Association of Guidance Counselors in Education, Rashina Anderson, as saying that the volume of violence encountered in schools in Jamaica is increasing the workload of her members, the students, the teachers, because the teacher them not fit for this. This is not what they come to school to do. They come to school to teach. Your teacher never come to school to be a referee. She wasn't trained to fight and to stop fight and all this. The teachers came to teach, but now they are babysitters, referees, on top of being a teacher. Currently, as stressed as we are, you have a lot of backlog. The cases are occurring so frequently that you hardly can keep up with a child. You do a first session and so many other sessions come in between, and you are to do a second session, meet with the parents, do a home visit, compile that, work through that case to see if you somehow need to refer that child externally, and more and more and more, Anderson said. You find that the form teachers might be saying, I referred this child and nothing has been done. But the counselor has not yet been able to attend to that child because of the cases just keep piling upon each other. Now, while we're having sessions with the children, we're doing parenting consultations as well. And if the client's situation seems a little off and we need more information, then we have to find the home to see what the background is like and what other factors may be affecting this particular child. Well, can speak about how it's done in America. We know how it's done in America because if your child go to school and act up too much, hey, CPS, they are your yard in America, you know. They want to find out what the child is going through. Let's go to the house and let's do an unscheduled visit, a pop-up surprise visit. I want to see if this child is being molested. I want to see if this child has some kind of predatory individual adult inside of that home. I want to see if that child is being fed properly. I want to see if that child has someplace clean to sleep, to lay down at nighttime and all these things, right? There's a lot of factors that goes into what might affect a child. And then the child just come to school already bubbling up with anger and just take it out on somebody else picnic. Which leads me to our last topic for the morning, which somebody on Instagram asked me to please speak about. And it's an incident where a young man, you might have seen him, was telling a story about how he beat the brakes off of a father, him. How he beat the brakes off of a father because that father failed to take care of his child, failed to stop his child from bullying his child. Now, this is where I ask my audience, do you agree with that method? The article says, he said, I know that was probably a traumatizing experience for you. He was speaking to the child, right? He left a message for the child on TikTok. He said, I know that was probably a traumatizing experience for you, but we kept asking you to stop bullying my daughter, and you wouldn't listen. We sent letters home. We even had a meeting with your parents, and you wouldn't listen. So now you know your actions have consequences. And since you're too young to receive those consequences, you had to watch your daddy take those consequences. Get some therapy. You'll be all right. Now, once the video began circulating online, it was met with mixed reactions. People couldn't decide if he did the right thing or if he didn't do the right thing. To everyone asking, why not 1v1, one-on-one? Why didn't you fight him one-on-one? He said, it wasn't about having a fair fight. It was about sending a message. However, despite the accolades, naysayers were also chiming in with their 2 cents. Somebody says, listen, I might get cooked for this, but if violence or bullying is the issue, how is using violence and bullying solving the problem? In what world is the answer to get a criminal record? Another person says, why do folks jump online and implicate themselves in crimes? This is insane. And it's the wrong way to handle this, somebody said. How about teaching your daughter how to fight and how to stand up for herself? See, this is where I have the problem at, right here. And every time I see these videos with so hold up. So because you're overly aggressive, big, tough back, overgrown picnic wants to come to school and see softness in my daughter and beat her ass every day, send her home crying. She's scared to go to school the next morning when I got to drop her off to school. So because you can't control that, the option or the answer is for me to go what? Enroll my daughter in boxing and karate, put her in the backyard or in the living room and teach her how to fight. That's what the option should be. You don't get to dictate that. You don't get to dictate that. Every time I see these videos where I see children getting jumped, children getting bullied by other children, and the backstory is, boy, I do that every day still. In Pick Panda Youth, the every day still. The first thing I always ask myself is, why won't be mine? Why won't it be mine? I'm not implicating myself. I don't give a damn. I told y'all this story before. I noticed my son. I watch my kids closely. And parents, I'm encouraging you to be very involved with your children. I noticed my son, right, was coming home. And he was coming home sad. And this is a kid that's always jovial, funny. So I said, something has changed about him. I don't know what it is. So I decided to drive by his school one day and pick him up a little earlier. And I did. I noticed him going to school in the morning. He started telling his mom, I'm sick. I want to take the day off and rest today. Then it went from Monday to Tuesday to Wednesday. I said, listen, there's only 5 days of school in the week. He can't be out of school 3 days of the week. Something is happening. So I combine that, him not wanting to go to school, no longer motivated in the morning to go. Watch your children. That plus him coming home from school sad as hell. I said something is going on in the school. I pick him up. I'm driving down the street. I'm driving slow. I said, who's bothering you? Somebody in the school is bothering you. Who is it? Lo and behold, my son just started talking. He said, it's this kid that always like stands in the doorway of all the classes I try to get into. And sometimes the teacher is saying, I'm late. And I'm not late. He stands there and I'm the only one he does it to. He picks on me like every day. He says stuff to me. What's he saying to you? Oh, he's calling you that? Oh, okay. And he's calling you that too? And he's blocking the doorway and he's pushing me like he wants me to fight him and all that. I said, all right. Did you talk to the teachers about it? My son said, I talked to the teachers. The teachers said they'll talk to him. And they spoke to his parents. I said, how come nobody called me? He said, the teachers said they were going to call you next. I said, okay. So we're driving down the street, right? Coincidentally, my son goes, that's the kid right there. I pull over and block him in right away. I drive up on the grass and up on the sidewalk and block. He was riding a bicycle. I drove up on the grass on the sidewalk, whooped that big vehicle and blocked his ass in. I jumped out of the vehicle, left my door open, everything. I was like, what's up? Of course, the poor kid don't know me, but my element of surprise was what I had planned, right? So I jumped out and I went right up to him. I was like, what's up? He was like, now my son's still in the vehicle, so he doesn't know who the hell is this. I said, yo, put the window down. So my son put the window down. He saw my son's face. His eyes got like this big. I said, you see that boy right there? I said, don't you ever fucking talk to him again. I don't give a fuck if you say good morning, good afternoon, if you're pleasantries. I don't care. Don't look in his direction. Don't do nothing. I will fuck you up and I will fuck your parents up. Right? You know, said this kid left that school and got moved to another school. Right. So sometimes it just take a parent showing up. And I'm one of them kind of parents. I'm showing up. And I'm not only showing up, I want to speak to the parent. So this brother right here, what he did, I applaud that because that's exactly what I would have done. Listen, you a kid, right? You have sense. If you 10, 11, 12 years old, you know what the hell you doing. You know when somebody says stop to stop. You know some wrong from some right. Your parents are telling you stop bullying that child, yet you come to school every day and continue to do it, tells me you don't even respect your parent. So since you're a kid and you can't fight me as an adult and my child don't want to fight you, I'm going to fuck your daddy up right in front of you. And I'll fuck your mama up too right in front of you. And we could do it gunplay or we could do fist to fist. Whichever way I choose to do it is how we're going to do it. I don't fuck around about my kids. Pardon my language this morning. I get a little emotional when I talk about my children. I'll slide some shit off earth. I don't fuck around when it comes to my kids. A lot of parents just too nonchalant about how their kids are being treated at school. And you're not paying attention to that child coming home unhappy every day. The child been getting bullied by the same person. The child been hurting. The child been intimidated and afraid. You don't notice in the morning when the picnic don't no longer want to go to school. Trust me, pay attention to them kids. You'll see it. And when you see it, do something about it. I'm not playing with nobody over minds. I'm watching a video just now. And the video is it happened on a train. Some of y'all might have seen it. It's a video that went viral. There's a woman with her husband or her man on the train. And the woman is mouthing off at a strange man. And she is calling him all kinds of names in the book. And she is waving her finger in his face like this. The man kept moving around the woman like this and kept saying to the man that she was with, yo, control your woman. Control your woman. He's laughing like it's funny. I'm with a disrespectful bitch. The man said, control your woman. You're not controlling your woman? I'm just trying to get home from work, right? Why she went and put her hand in this man's face like this? That man moved her out the way and beat the brakes off her man. That man was unconscious by the time he was done beating him. Now, that's the way you're supposed to do it. Because if you with this loudmouth ass bitch and she out here putting finger in strange men's faces and calling them all kinds of names, people who are not bothering her, she don't have no respect for you. That woman know you can't fight. She already know, or maybe she thought you could fight, right? But that's how you handle that. So you don't beat the woman because you're a man. You whoop his ass. And the same thing for the children. You don't beat the children because they're not your children. You find that parent and you give that parent a warning first. Don't just go fighting people's parents. I'll give a warning first. Hey, listen. My child used to love going to school. My child wake up scared every morning. It breaks my heart seeing it. Don't speak. Let me tell you what we're dealing with. My child wake up every morning, don't want to go to school. I come pick my kid up from school in the evening. Sometimes he's one teardrop shy of crying. And now I figured out that it's your child. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to need you to make sure that your child does not mess with my child anymore. Please look in my face. Because the next time we meet, if this continues, we're going to go through some shit. Okay. If you can't fix that as a parent, I'll see you when I see you. Bring your gun, because I'm bringing mine. Bring a knife, because I might have one. I don't give a damn what you bring. But bring it. And I might just make sure your child get broke the hell up too. At some point. But yeah. I agree with the brother completely. I don't know why people are saying you shouldn't. And they don't agree with it. This isn't pushing violence. This is saving your child. This is saving your child. His daughter wasn't bothering nobody. He is not encouraging his child to go to school to bother anybody. He tried multiple ways. He wrote a letter, sent it to the other parents, which led to a meeting with the other parents, which led to another meeting with the other parents and the child there, and you still won't stop? All right. Hold this. So now the little girl seeing her daddy get his ass beat. I guarantee you she won't be doing that no more. I guarantee she won't be doing that. And I guarantee her daddy will be doing more than what he was doing before. Because he don't want to get his ass beat no more. Right. Debbie Boo said, I've never liked violence. None of us like violence. It ain't about liking violence. It's about doing what's necessary. And sometimes violence is necessary. You know? When we cut the head off a chicken and then we have brown stew chicken later, you murdered that chicken. But it was a necessary violence in order for you to have a nice meal. Violence is necessary in human existence. Don't just go around being violent to everybody. We're not promoting that. But sometimes violence is necessary. Know what I mean? Yes, SouFlo, at times people only respect violence. Absolutely. And you cannot, listen to me, you cannot approach violence with, oh, let's talk about it. And this, next thing they pick you up and drop you on your head. Next thing they stab you in your chest. You come in to play peacemaker. You know? But violence is necessary. My son was being bullied when he was in the 6th grade, and I noticed that he was not wanting to go to school. And I asked him, and he told me, so I went to the school and confronted the kids. And it was 4 boys. Yep, that's me. That's me. I'm catching your kid somewhere. Once my child point him out, I'm catching your kid somewhere. Oh, there's another thing that's going around. So I picked my daughter up, right? I'm going to end the video right here, probably in about 10 minutes. 5-10 minutes. But I have to say this one. I picked my daughter up 2 days ago. My daughter says, yeah, daddy. And well, we give our teacher a massage while we're waiting for our names to be called so we can go outside to the car loop. I said, you give your teacher a what? We give our teacher a massage. I said, Nika, is your teacher a man or a woman? She said, my teacher is a woman. I said, what kind of massage are you giving the teacher? Who's giving the teacher a massage? She said, all of us. We just take our turns giving the teacher a massage. I said, little girl, first of all, an adult talk you into massaging them, your teacher is wrong. Your teacher shouldn't be touching you in any way, and you shouldn't be touching your teacher in any way, and I don't care if you are massaging her finger. Which brings me to this. I told my daughter, she said, they've been doing it for the longest. I told my daughter, I said, did you do it? She says, yeah, I was massaging her shoulder. And then I heard them call my name. I said, you don't ever do that again. And my intentions now are to let her mom know about it and to let the school know about it. And I explained to my daughter that this is how adults groom children. It starts out with, oh, I'll give you a massage. That feels good. Now you give me a massage. Okay. That feels so good. Okay. Now massage me here. Before you know it, you massage in some place that you're confused about. You're a friggin' kid with a dick in your hand. An adult dick in your hand or something. Or an adult vagina or titties in your hand. Right? They swear they're slick, right? And they work their way into the school system and other places where children go, hey man, you got to be very vigilant about your kids, man. I'm watching this video. The video went viral already. And I'm surprised. Because majority of the people that supported this particular video are black women. Black women. Friggin' black women. I don't see no problem with it. I don't see what's wrong with it. It's a teacher that has a lot of tattoos like me, and he has braids. I don't know if y'all seen the video. And he is, let me see if I can pull up a picture. And he has 4 girls, which look like teenage girls, like probably they look like about 10 to 14 or 10 to 12, that age group. Pulling out his braids in class and re-braiding his hair. Teacher has students braid his hair. You can look it up. And he has the students braiding his hair. And as soon as I saw it, I showed Shakira. I said, Mr. Babe, you think this? She was like, oh, hell no. That's inappropriate. This is how every adult should see it, as friggin' inappropriate. First of all, right, you don't teach cosmetology. My daughter is not in cosmetology school. Yes, he got fired. And I told and the day after he got fired is the day when I went to pick up my daughter from school, and my daughter was telling me that they were massaging the teacher before she came out. And I told her about this particular incident. See me? Look. Now I'm making it up. Y'all know about it. There he is. While he's grading papers, So my daughter in school, I pull out and braid man hair, a grown ass man hair, and I'm supposed to be okay with it. I'm gonna close this video like this morning, right? And I want y'all to take this with you. I see a lot of people saying no SouFLo and I don't like violence or whatever. I already said it, so I'm gonna say it to you because I keep it 100 with you all the time, right? You see this teacher right here? If my daughter popped up something like this, I would not go to the school. I wouldn't go to the school. You see, just like how my son pointed out the kid that was bullying him, I would want my daughter to point him out to me. Or I would ask the school, who is Mr. So-and-so? Yeah, the science teacher. And they'd say, oh, he's the one over there with the braids and the tattoos. He's a good guy. I'd say, okay. And then I would wait for him. And I don't give a damn if I catch you going into a restaurant to eat or if I catch you at the gas station filling up gas, because that's where I want to catch you. I want to catch this man away from the school. Away from the school, I want to catch him. And the rest of how it would go down, I'm not going to say it on here. Because I don't want nobody say I'm delivering terroristic threats to whatever, but it wouldn't be nice. But I'm definitely not complaining to the school. I'm definitely catching you off campus. That man know what the hell he doing. He know what he's doing. Worse, he's black. Come on, man. Every black household I know. Don't be sitting in no boy's lap, girl. Close your legs. Not just Jamaican, not just Caribbean. Or you over there braid up man here. He knew exactly what the hell he was doing. The crazy part is some of them so brave, that's their cover-up. Their cover-up is to do it right in front of you. You hear me? Their cover-up is to do it right in front of you. Because you can't complain because it was done right in front of you, so you must have approved. Yeah, that one right there. With that, take that with you for the day and start watching these babies more closely. And with that said, I'm going to end this one right here this morning. Shout out to all the people who tuned in. We're having some technical difficulties with the regular setting of the show, but I'll get to the bottom of it and fix it so we could get back to normal. And whether I have to go by phone or I can fix the computers by tomorrow, we'll be here if God spare my life. All right. Manners and respect to each and every one of you. I appreciate you greatly. Big up yourself. Thank you for being here. And I'll catch you on the next video. Seeing shout out to June Johnson. You met my dear love. All right. One love. I'm out. Peace.